Welcome to the Homegirl Happy Hour podcast, real estate, real life, and zero scripts. I'm your homegirl, Sarah Gandry, and every week we start with real estate and somehow end up talking about everything else. Grab a drink because it is officially happy hour. Let's get into it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Homegirl Happy Hour podcast. I'm your homegirl, Sarah Gandry. Our guest today is a former Olympian and one of my preferred lenders, Dorian Weber. Today, we're talking about the financial mistakes a lot of people make when buying a home, things you absolutely should not do before closing, and some of the biggest misconceptions about mortgages right now. Basically, the things that nobody tells you. Also, today, we're switching it up with a mocktail, which somehow feels responsible and also a little disappointing. We're going to call it the pre-approval punch. Dorian, welcome to the podcast. Tell everybody a little about yourself.
Oh, for sure, yes. My name's Dorian. I've been in the mortgages for about 4 or 5 years now. Came from the real estate agent side, switched over, and have enjoyed the aspects and the parts of the mortgages. It's not as exciting as doing mortgages might sound, but it's all right. I'm enjoying it. It's super fun, and I like working with individuals such as yourself. Super.
And you guys don't let the accent fool you. He's from Long Island.
It is. It's a fake accent. They taught it to us in sales school. I luckily picked the British one out. Some of the other people weren't so lucky with their accents.
You know, it works for you.
Yes.
All right. So before we get into too many of the serious financial questions, what are some of the wildest things you have seen people do before closing?
Oh my God. Oh, this one guy.
And cheers, by the way.
Oh yes. Cheers. Oh yes. Cheers.
Let's see how this turned out.
Cheers. Yes. I think I would need. Let me see. I spill all over myself. Fruity.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It's actually good. The what wasn't good, what this one guy did, he took it upon himself to get pre-approved with 6 or 7 different banks, which is fine. But his aim was not to have them all compete against each other for the one loan. He was buying or wanting to close on 5 different primary residencies, all and sign and close in the same 2-day period, so that he could get in with 5% or less on each one as a down payment, because he didn't think that the other banks would catch him doing it. But obviously we did. And when you're filling out the contracts and you're signing your loan documents, there's literally a big thing. Are you getting any other mortgage debt? And obviously he ticked no, which was a big lie. And he was trying to obtain multiple mortgages, all under the pretense of getting a primary residency, but getting 5 of them. So that all fell apart. And
I would imagine so.
yeah, so that's like massively illegal. And probably he wouldn't have done well in jail. He didn't look like the type that would have done okay. No, traded like a cheap currency. He would have suffered. Yeah, so don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. That was bad.
Okay. So
Don't do that.
what are some of the things that make lenders, and be honest,
Okay.
cringe
I was gonna lie, but I'll be
every
honest.
single I know you're such a big liar. Cringe every time and panic when you're in the middle of a transaction.
So if people, the biggest thing, it goes down to lying again. So I'm going to see everything. It's like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street. You show me a paycheck, I'll quit my job. I see the paychecks. I see the tax
You
returns.
see the paycheck.
I see the bank statements. I see the OnlyFans subscriptions. I see it all. Don't lie to me, because it will come out, and it will either come out on day 1 or 3 days before closing. It'll come out that, oh, wait, you have the child support payment for a child that your current wife doesn't know you have. And now we need to include that. So people lying is the biggest thing. I'm going to find out eventually. And I would like to know the monster that I'm going to fight on day 1, or even before we go on the contract, ideally, then halfway through the transaction. And then that's where I find out of a surprise child support payment, or, oh, you have all of these secret debts that you didn't relinquish to us. That's the biggest issue. Like everything else is kind of small, but lying is, so many people lie. I don't know why. I'm going to find out. It's like a toddler who spills juice on the floor and they try rubbing it in and covering it with a pillow. You're going to find it eventually. Like, and these are adults. So that's the biggest issue.
That's how I feel about online dating.
Yeah.
Like at some point, if you actually have any intention of meeting the person,
No, that's no. It's just for likes.
it's no. But I guess the mortgage industry is similar.
Yeah.
All right.
Lie.
So I feel like people often think if they stop buying Starbucks or Dunkin' every morning for 3 months, they can suddenly afford a house. Um, what would your advice be to those people, or what internet advice do you see people giving that would certainly be problematic?
I mean, oh, of course, if you don't get that Starbucks coffee every day, maybe in like a million years, you can use the money you saved up to buy the house if the planet is still around. Yes. No. So it's two trains of thoughts on this. One is, yes, if you stay at home, you save the $10, you make your own coffee, and maybe it's 50 cents. So over time that can compile up. But then you also have like the social impact investment, the opportunity cost. Because if you go out to Starbucks and you sit in Starbucks and you chat to the servers and you meet them every day, you can grow your network, you can grow your sphere of influence. So yes, you're spending $9 for a coffee, but you're in the place for an hour and a half, you meet people, and then 12 months later, the Starbucks barista who you're good friends with, her cousin wants to buy a house, they're going to use you. And now you spend $800 on Starbucks, but you get a $10,000 commission check. So it's like a fine line on like, yes, it's a cost. And now, if you're in massive credit card debt and you're going into it, then yes, stay at home. But if you're doing okay financially, there is benefit to going out and increasing your network and having that, opportunity and not the opportunity cost of it. So it depends really on that side of it. I wouldn't say it's like stay home with the avocado toast and that's why you can't afford a house. That's not the houses have gone 10 times up, like.
What's the worst TikTok advice you've seen?
The worst TikTok advice I've seen is like the people that they sell a course for this thing that they use to, buy a house with no money down or other people's money or sell paper or subject to. And they sell this course for this thing that they can't make any money on because the thing's now saturated. So now they've gone to the course selling aspect of it. So they sell the course and then someone goes online and they buy this course to try and find a house that they can take over the payment. If you need to do all of that to get into a house, you're probably not ready for a house. And that's okay. It's okay. I don't have a fancy car or drive a Lamborghini. That's not my thing. It doesn't mean you can't ever get a house, but there's trying to skirt the system around to be that 1 in 1,000 people that gets it. I think it's setting people up with the wrong expectation of like home ownership. And you need to work on your own financials and stuff, or like working on your credit, making sure you have the income, because great, you get into a house with no money, but you can't make the payment. Well, you're foreclosing in 12 months. So that's the biggest thing. People selling courses for the quick change, like what's it, get rich quick scheme. And I see that a lot on TikTok.
People don't want to make the
No
effort.
Everyone wants the view, but no one's envious of the climb. And so everyone wants to get that thing right away, but they don't want to do the hard work for it.
What would be some 3 things that you would tell people to focus on? Or what are 3 things that maybe you see derail people's ability to get a mortgage when they're applying?
So it really comes down to like, most people, it's like, should they even buy a house? Buying a house is investment. I know as American dream, everyone wants to be a homeowner, and I totally get that and I see it. But if you're in a place where you are struggling to get in and your payment's going to be $800 more a month than what your current rent is, and you're going to be struggling every month and you don't pay your credit cards off every month, is buying a house really the best option? And I think for some people, they have to sit back and have that conversation with themselves. But you know what? Now it's not a no. It's just a not now. And I think that's the biggest issue, is like people wanting to get the thing and hold the card up and the key and getting the house when I move my hands around a lot as well. It's like I'm Italian.
I talk with my hands too. It's fine.
Well, I am Italian, I guess, back in the day. But that's the biggest thing. People, I would say, wanting to get the house when they may not be in the position that the house is for them, but forcing it. And
do you think that's because they've priced themselves out by, we live in a world where it's like subscription for this and go to Starbucks every morning, and all of those things are almost trendy to do, right? You see influencers on the online doing all of the same, and so you feel like you're keeping up with the Joneses, but are people pricing themselves out of their ability to purchase a home because of those things, because they add up?
Yeah, I see it a lot. So a lot of people, and this is the most concerning thing, a lot of people I qualify for, good hardworking people, they have decent income, 60, 70, 80, $90,000 a year, which even 10 years ago was great income. Now it's just everything is so expensive. And you see people they're buying at the top of their budget at a point where in the following year, when the property taxes reassess, they wouldn't be able to, we couldn't qualify for them. Right. So now they're paying more than we could qualify them for. They're over 50% of their gross income is a mortgage. And they're in a position where they're like 2 or 3 paychecks away. If they lose their job and they don't get income coming in 2 or 3, they're missing payments on the house. I'm seeing a lot of people forcing themselves into home ownership when financially they're not in a position. And it's just like, I'll have that conversation with them. I want to make sure I set people up for success. And if I say, hey man, I don't know if it's the best thing for you to do it now, They will go online and they will find someone that'll do it in a call center, sucking down a vape pen, you know, and they're making $500. They don't care. And then literally, I've had a poor lady. She, sorry, this upset me the most. So this lady is a friend of mine, Abby. You know her. She has a listing, and one of her clients wanted to get some money out for a new washer dryer, but she didn't have, you know, she had a 2% interest rate, something crazy low. Someone at one of the big call centers refinanced her from a 2-3% to like a 7% interest rate just to pull out $5,000 or $6,000. Obviously 12 months later can't make the payment.
Mm-hmm.
She could have just put that on a credit card, kept the 2-3% interest rate, and worst case the credit card company comes after her. Like, but someone is always there to make a penny. And I feel like there's always gonna be someone there to, you know, cause people or like put people in a position that they shouldn't be in. And but they want to be in that position. I want to buy a house. I want to do this. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah, and sometimes it works out, and other times it certainly does not. I mean, you know, my most recent transaction, I was, what, 6 days away from closing, and they had just seen income statements. I mean,
oh yeah,
right.
telling you.
And he could have, I mean, that client could have potentially lost their deposit because people are not necessarily considering the humanity of it. They're in it just to get the volume
Oh, 100%. And
under the
then
belt.
on the other side of it, about the lifestyle creep, that dude, I see this with real estate agents all the time. And again, it's like that opportunity cost. Like you'll see a real estate agent, she's in Pilates and doing the yoga, and it's like has the white Mercedes
Hey,
and everything.
don't knock the white
I'm
Mercedes.
just saying, you know, it's you see it, and it's like, wow, this person must be killing it.
Yeah.
And then you go on, they close one rental, and it's like, how are they affording that? But the illusion of it, of like how successful they are, they're buying the success, they're buying the brands, that can bring business to you for sure. But then it's like, how long can you ride that for before the bills catch up? And I see a lot of people falling into that. It's just I see it all the time. It's like, wow, this person must be killing it. It's like, no, like how are they paying the bills? But it's
Yeah, I
like
think it's
fake.
not sustainable to,
No,
you can't fake it
Right.
forever.
You can fake it for a bit, but eventually, especially in a market like this where it is tougher, you know,
It
interest
is.
rates are higher, homes are expensive, debt is an all-time high. Can you fake it till the point where you make it, or is that timeline so small that you just and
I think
I don't know.
people are also bombarded with so much information coming at them on the internet, right? I have conversations all the time with buyers who are looking at houses within their budget,
Yep.
right? And they just don't like the way they look.
Yep.
And instead of focusing on, hey, is the roof in good, is the, roof in newer condition, how much am I going to have to drop into this? They're worried about, does it have a quartz countertop? And right, sometimes that probably shouldn't be
No.
the primary focus. Get into a house that you can afford now and work towards making it great.
Oh, 100%.
My house was a piece of shit when I first bought it. It really was. I look back at the photos now on the MLS from when I bought it, and I actually sometimes think, what was I doing? Because it was ugly.
Yep.
It was ugly. The kitchen had to be gutted. I mean, I put a lot into it, but I've done it over 15 years. And now I like my house, but certainly didn't look like that
No.
when I bought it.
My house was horrible when I bought it. The carpet literally had the person had 2 dogs, and they had used the carpet as a
Like a wee wee pad.
latrine. We'll use it. We'll be, you know, very European there. And
That is very European of you.
and it smelled
But you're from
horrible.
Long Island.
I, via London. It's only a 5-hour flight. But yeah, but 100%. But I didn't buy it for like the quartz counter. But yeah, I see it all the time. It's like, oh, it's got good bones. Oh, but I don't like the bathroom. Well, you can change the bathroom.
Hmm.
The bathroom's changing is 10 grand. The roof is 30,000, and it's a new roof. Like, but the roof isn't sexy. I mean, I think
No, but
maybe
the
a
roof
nice
is
shingle roof is
sexy when it
sexy.
lowers your insurance rate.
Yeah, but it's still not as sexy as a quartz countertop to some people.
Yeah,
Those shingles don't do it for everyone. They do it for me.
same.
A nice set of shingles.
Adulting is
It's
great.
very millennial of you, adulting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at some point, I was really excited about a new garage door when I
Dude,
bought my house.
when I got my garage, I was so excited. I was like, it's working, and it was going down, and I was like, it was like the happiest purchase I made. Oh my God.
Oh,
It was so
it's
good.
amazing.
It's like,
But
oh, it's good. Because before it didn't work, and I had to pull up, and it's like,
it's the
look at
little
this.
things.
It was like so good. Even to this day, I'm like, yes.
It is.
Yeah. But no, I like good garage door.
So what do you think is something that people obsess over that doesn't actually matter as much as they think when it comes to a home purchase or being approved for a mortgage?
I'm going to say this right into the microphone. Having your credit checked. People freak out about that all the time. Oh, you're not going to check my credit. You're not going to do a hard credit check. Oh, I have no idea where this fear is coming from. You know, everyone just gets so worried about like having their credit checked. Why? Like, oh, it's going to drop. Well, are you buying anything else anytime soon? No. Well, just have you. Oh my God, just stop it. The like that's the biggest thing. They all worry. Are you going to pull my credit? Oh, it's going to be a hard credit check. Oh, how many points is it going to drop? None. Like none. Like we need to check it anyway. So let's check it now. It's good for 90 days. Now, if you're purchasing 6 months out, 9 months
That's
out, you can do a soft credit check then. But if you're aiming to put an offer in, like just you're given a 30-day window to have your credit checked by 1 million people because you are buying, for most cases, the most expensive thing you're going to own in your life. They want
especially here in Palm Beach County.
100%. They want you to check other people because if you're fearful of it, you'll go with the first lender and maybe they're great. Maybe they're like me. They're awesome. But maybe they're not
You're
awesome.
okay.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And they're super expensive and you're stuck with them because you're
Yeah.
fearful of the credit check. And some lenders actually push that fear. Oh, you can't get it checked again. Oh, it's horrible. It's like because they know they're expensive and if they get checked, they'll lose a deal. It's crazy how shady it is in some areas. But that's the biggest thing, like having your credit checked. It's not going to drop your points a million points or anything. So that would be the main misconception, getting that done.
What should people absolutely not do if they are planning to buy in the next 6 to 12 months?
In 6 to 12 months, if the self-employed, what they shouldn't do, I mean, 6 to 12 months, it's like you could get a new car now in 6 to 12 months. You could get a new installment payment. That's not a problem. Um, I would say go on as a co-signer for someone else. Because if, let's say, someone wants to buy a house, they need my income to assist them to qualify, but I want to buy my own house in 6 months, we can't omit that debt of that initial cosign until we have 12 months of that other buyer making those payments. So if you wanted me to be a cosigner for you to help you buy a house and you're making the payments from your bank account, I need 12 months of those. So if I want to buy a house 6 months from now, I have to include your debt. So that would be the main thing, going on as a cosigner if it's less than 12 months out. That'd be the biggest thing.
What's a few smart things that people should do?
Coming to get qualified for a mortgage. I would get qualified as early as possible because then at least you know where you're at. You know, if you need to work on your credit, you need to work on employment history, you need to collect random documents because you have really weird income. It's better to do that way out from the actual time you want to look for homes than calling me up and say, hey, we want to put an offer on a house and you have 12 LLCs in 10 different states and you haven't filed taxes for 10 years. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? So starting the whole process early would be a really good thing just because you know where you're at. And if you have time to fix your credit, you have time to save up money for down payment. That would be the main thing because then it's a much more relaxed process. That would be the main thing like that I would tell people to do just to start early because it opens up so many more opportunities.
Let's talk down payment.
Yes.
The most common question I think I get is, don't I need 20% down?
Yeah.
So let's talk about those differences.
Okay. So yeah, if you put 20% down, you're definitely going to help you out a lot. It'll keep your monthly payment less, but you can get in with 3 to 5% down in terms of down payment. And then on top of that, there are down payment assistance programs, which will cover your entire down payment. So you in theory can get into a house with like $0 out of pocket. I don't necessarily suggest going that way if you can put money down. You want to have some equity in the house.
Programs like Hometown Heroes and other
100%. Yeah. Hometown Heroes is a great program for the right person. You know, it's an interest-free loan. There are other, Florida State has one at the moment where they'll give you $10,000. Same thing, same process. You pay it back if you sell or you refinance. But for the most part, like you can get in with like 3 to 5% down, depending on the property type. Now, some condos, that's a whole nother battle you have to deal with. They could require 25% down because they're not run correctly. But generally speaking, 5% or less down, you can get in. So $300,000 house, you can get in with nine to like 15 grand kind of range.
Back to those down payment programs.
Yeah.
You said they're not for everybody.
Yep.
So what are some of the downfalls, the pitfalls to some of those? Because again, no program is perfect, right?
Yeah.
I think people don't realize some of the small print in those
Oh,
when they start that process, and they're surprised when they want to get out of that home 5 years down the road because their family's grown and they want to sell that house. Talk to me about that a little bit.
So yeah, so the down payment assistance programs like Hometown Heroes, where they lend you the money and then you pay it back. So if you borrow 15 grand and then you sell the house in 5 years, you have to pay that $15,000 back. The issue I have is a couple fold. Number one, you're assuming that the home is going to go up in value. Now, they generally do, but you can't guarantee. The last couple of years, some home types have remained stagnant. Some have even
Mhm.
gone down in value.
For sure. Condos are in a bit of trouble, I would say.
100%. So if you wanted to sell that now, you might have to bring money to the table because the down payment has been eaten into. So it's very, if you don't need to put the money down, if you have it and it was more like a nice to have than a need, I wouldn't necessarily go that way. Plus, the programs tend to come at a slightly higher interest rate. So instead of getting a 6, maybe you're getting a 6.5 because that's just how it is with the programs. But also, and this is the most important, if you are making enough money to qualify for a house in Palm Beach County, homes, even condos are expensive,
Mhm.
and you aren't able to save up the money for a down payment, I would ask, are you in a financial position to take on a mortgage payment? Because if you're not able, because again, you could buy a townhouse and with 3% down, get in with 9 grand. If you're making 70, 80, 90K a year, if you can't save up $9,000, are you in a position where you should be buying a property?
I would say no.
Yeah. And
But I don't think in our industry people have those conversations very often. I
no.
think people are scared to have very
Yes.
difficult conversations with their clients when it comes to mortgages, when it comes to ability to pay, when it comes to even with sellers. I have tough conversations about, hey, you're emotionally attached to your house. These people aren't. The market's going to determine what your actual value of your
Yep.
property is. Those are tough conversations to have, and people don't, I think, like to have them. So
Oh,
again, that's why you hear from me more often than not, because I feel like you're having those conversations with people, and you're not. If I send somebody to you, I know that they're not going to be taken advantage of.
100%. Like, and I appreciate that. Like some agents, and I won't work with them anymore. What, like, hey, don't tell them what the payment's going to be next year. Literally will not want me to tell them what the payment's going to be when the tax is reassessed because it will kill a deal. It's like some agents have the worst commission breath, and it's just insane that they don't even care about their client getting into a position in 12 months where they can't afford that payment, or it's $600 more than they wanted their payment to be.
Right.
And I just can't do that. But that's the thing. Like, so if you're making the money to qualify for a townhouse, single family home, and you've been making it for a while and you can't save up that 3 to 4%,
Mhm.
maybe now's not time, because chances are, and I've seen this before, there'll be a condo for sale for, let's say, 200,000, right? And the monthly payment on that is with HOA is like 2,600, but that same condo is rented for 1,800. Maybe it makes more sense to rent it.
Mhm.
You're saving $900 a month. You could put that into a mutual fund. You could pay off your credit cards. So the people who the program's good for are people, maybe they just got a new job. They just became a nurse or whatever it is, a nurse practitioner or a firefighter, and they just don't have the money saved up yet, but they
Mhm.
will have it saved up. That's fine. But if they've been doing that job for a while and they haven't saved the money up, they need to look at their finances and make it have a tough decision. All right, and use budgeting, and maybe they go on Dave Ramsey and like eat their toast and drink their coffee at home until they get to the point where credit cards are paid off and stuff like that. But some people, they just want the house, and if you say no, even if you got the best interest for them, they'll find someone that will say yes.
I think that comes down to also the emotional attachment that we sometimes form with properties, right?
100%.
I mean, I've even done it. You were one of the people that was like, my mom's was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She was dealing with all these financial issues with her condo, and I didn't want to let go of it. And you were one of the people that said, "Right, do you really need this condo? Do you really have to?"
Yeah.
And it took me a little while because I had an emotional attachment to it. My parents had lived in that house, and it was the first place my dad met my child, and
Yeah.
he's not. But eventually, it clicked, and so I think that's a hard thing to get through with people. But I do think it's a conversation that has to happen, and eventually we catch on.
For sure, but on the listing side, you lived in the house. These are people who they've never lived in a house, so they don't have that emotional, generally as much attachment, because you have the attachment. It's the first house your parents were in, stuff like that. Whereas these people just wanting to buy a house, they want to go from renting to owning, so they have I guess, the emotional side of it. Like, what do they say? People buy houses emotionally and justify them logically. So they want to buy the house and move into it to be a homeowner. It's like, well, you're not even paying your credit cards off in full every month. Like,
Yeah.
is this really the best thing to do?
I also think that people hear very often that, hey, you can buy and pay as much as you are paying in rent, right? Pay
Yeah.
yourself instead of a landlord. But there's additional kind of hidden costs that come with home
1000%.
ownership, right?
Yep.
Are you ready for when the air conditioner breaks and or you need new windows or a hurricane comes and you have a hurricane deductible to pay for your insurance? So those are all those costs that people don't consider when they decide that they want to purchase a home. And
Oh,
so I
100%.
understand that the desire to do it. I mean, listen, that gentleman I helped recently, 64 years old, he's buying his first home. He he closed, but it was maybe a little bit more than he probably needed to, bite off right now.
100%.
But I also think we live in a county where rent is crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And so people are going to pay that much one way or another.
Yeah. I just make sure I try and make sure that they're aware of what the payment is now and what it could be worst case scenario in year two.
Correct.
And if they're okay with that and it works, then great. It's the lenders who don't do that that then end up the buyers can't afford it. That especially in places like Port St. Lucie, where those taxes go up huge compared to the rest of the
Right.
state.
People assume Port St. Lucie is cheap, but it's the highest taxes around.
Yeah. And those people like, what? My taxes have gone up $700 a month.
Mhm.
They have to sell the house. Or
Right.
and then they sometimes they'll break even, or maybe they have to bring money to the table by the time they pay for the cost of sale after the cost of acquisition. It's that's the hardest part, having those conversations with people so they don't put themselves in a financial bad position
Yeah.
when they're all excited about owning a home.
Last question before we do a rapid fire
Yes.
here. Uh,
Ready.
what is one thing you wish people knew before starting the home buying process?
So that owning a home, and this goes back to is a privilege, not a right. And that home ownership, it's something that you should really take seriously and make sure you're again back to what we discussed, in a position that it financially makes sense and not getting carried away with what you see on social media and like 22-year-old kid who has the house in Fort Lauderdale on the water and feeling like bad that that's not you. Like everyone's situation is different.
Yeah.
You see that on social media, but you don't see everything on oh, his dad's a billionaire and bought it. And it's like, all right, fine. Like, but they never tell you that because they want you to believe in the illusion of it. So I would say that understanding that homeownership's right, you have to be in a good position to get it, to be a homeowner, and be okay if it may take you an extra 12 or 24 months. And it was everyone overestimates what they can do in 12 months, but underestimates what they can do in like 5 years. So it's like being okay with maybe it's going to be a little bit longer journey to get the house, but you will get there eventually. It's just being patient.
Great advice.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna play red flag, green flag.
Okay. Perfect.
Rapid fire here.
Okay.
All right. Changing jobs before closing.
More red flags in the communist parade. Don't do that. Do not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've had people do it before. At the closing table, they have called me and told me they quit their job. Don't do that.
Financing furniture.
If you do it after closing, you can finance whatever you want. If you do it before closing, I hate you. Don't do that.
um, Large Venmo or Zelle transfers.
If we can source it, not a problem. We can use it. If we can't, we have to back it out. So I'm going to go beige flag,
Okay.
medium flag.
Beige. Okay. Because that's, what green and red make together. Beige.
Do they?
No.
Blue? I feel like black. It all makes black if you mix it together enough.
I don't know. I don't even know.
We'll go with this
Is
color.
it purple?
This color.
It's not purple.
This is red. This is green. We're going to go with this color.
Paying off debt all at once.
If done at closing, green flag. If you do it beforehand, I don't like you because I have to source this, so red flag.
Side hustle income.
Oh, green flag. We just can't use it for income if you ain't been doing it long enough. But you
How
can
many years? So that people understand and like I think that's an important thing to mention as well.
Oh yeah. So if you're going to have two jobs, you got your main gig and you're going to do your side hustle gig. We need to have a history of 2 years of doing both to be able to use both to qualify. But we can use the side income as a down payment source.
Okay. What about a 1099? How many years?
Same thing, side income. So most side incomes, whether it's W-2, 1099, you take it selling feet pics, whatever it is, we need 2 years of the feet pics being sold, and then we can use both at the same time.
Okay. Co-signing for somebody.
Green flag if you're not planning on buying anything in the next 12 months. Red flag if you are planning on buying something in the next 12 months.
Would you ever co-sign for a child on a loan?
Do I know the child?
If it's your child, hypothetically speaking.
If it's my child, I don't have any children, so I'd be worried. Where did my child come from? Who is this person?
Hypothetical child.
Hello, hypothetical child.
Okay. Should people co-sign for their children?
It depends. If you like your child, sure. Why not? YOLO. You know, if your child's a delinquent and getting E's in class, maybe just buy him a PlayStation.
Probably safer.
Yeah. I mean, no, you should, if you want to, if it's all down to your comfortability. But yeah, if you want to co-sign for your kid, as long as you're not planning on buying anything in the next 12 months, green flag. Green flag. Oh, this is a green
We've
flag.
got lots of green flags, one beige flag, and a couple of I don't like yous.
Yes. Don't change your job before closing.
All right. Anything else they shouldn't do? Final thoughts from Dorian.
Final thoughts from Dorian. They should not use Sarah for their real estate
I
business.
certainly agree with that. I think that's sound advice.
And she did not pay me to do that and say that. But no, I think we've covered a lot. Good job.
I think
And
we have.
no.
Thanks
that's
for
it.
coming.
I appreciate the invite. And the mocktail, which is very tasty.
It actually turned out pretty great.
But I didn't get a piece of pineapple in mine.
Yes,
so
you did.
I don't see it.
It's there, I promise.
Oh, yes, it's there. Checks in the mail. The pineapple's inside. I've been at my
Okay.
job for 2 years. All lies.
There's a pineapple in there, I promise.
I mean, I've almost drunk it all, and I don't see a pineapple.
It's maybe you ate it. Dorian, thank you so much for coming in today, making mortgages feel a little less terrifying and definitely clearing up some misconceptions and maybe stopped a few people from financing furniture before closing. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, share it with somebody who's thinking about buying a home in the next year. I'm your homegirl, Sarah Gandry, and I'll see you next week for Happy Hour. All right, we clearly covered a lot and somehow still ended up all over the place in the best way possible. That's it for this episode of the Homegirl Happy Hour podcast, real estate, real life, and zero scripts. Make sure you're following along, and I'll see you next week for another happy hour. Cheers.